Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas. Today, we're tackling a philosopher so radical he was actually cast out of his own community. His ideas are so complex they can feel like a labyrinth, but we'll be looking at a new book that promises to be the map. So, here he is, Baruch Spinoza, a guy whose ideas were so revolutionary they still challenge us, even today. And as you can see from this quote, his philosophy isn't just some abstract puzzle. It's a really deep, practical meditation on how to live a good life. So, who exactly was this man? You have to remember, this was the 17th century, and Spinoza's life was one of incredible intellectual courage. His thinking on God, the universe, and freedom of thought was so far ahead of its time that he was excommunicated by his own community. I mean, think about that for a second. His ideas were considered so dangerous that his life's work, his masterpiece, Ethics, could only be published after he died. So what was at the heart of it all? What was this big, dangerous idea? It was this: God and nature are the exact same thing. At a time when everyone saw God as, a king in the sky, a creator judging humanity, Spinoza said there's no separation. God is the universe, this huge, self-sustaining system that just follows logical laws. This wasn't just a small tweak in thinking. It was a philosophical earthquake, and it changed Western thought forever. That's a really fair question, right? If his work is so important, so foundational to modern philosophy and even science, why does it feel so hard to get into? Well, let's be honest. His writing is notoriously complex. He wrote his masterpiece, Ethics, using a geometric method. Seriously, imagine a high school geometry proof, but for the entire universe, with axioms, propositions, and logical steps. It's a true philosophical labyrinth. And yeah, it can be pretty intimidating, even if you're used to reading philosophy. This is where things get interesting. What if there was a tool designed specifically to make the winding, complicated world of Spinoza, well, a little less complicated? And that's exactly what we're looking at today. This book, the Spinoza Dictionary, is designed to be the essential companion for anyone who really wants to dive into Spinoza's world. It's meant to be the key that unlocks his whole system of thought. So you can see what the book is trying to do here. It's about a total transformation. It wants to take what feels dense and make it clear, to take what feels opaque and make it accessible. It doesn't just give you definitions. It puts everything in context so you can see how all the pieces fit together. So how on earth does it do that? All right, let's put it to the test. Let's take a little peek inside and see how the book's format actually works by trying it out on a few of Spinoza's absolute biggest ideas. Okay, so here's the formula. First, for any core concept, the dictionary gives you a super clear, concise definition. Take that big idea of God we mentioned earlier. The book just boils it right down to its essential meaning. No fuss. Then, and this is so important, it immediately gives you a direct quote from Spinoza's work. This doesn't just define the term for you, it puts it right back into its original context. You get to hear the idea in the philosopher's own words. It connects the definition directly to the source. Let's try another one. Conatus. Now, this might be a new word for a lot of us, but it is absolutely central to his philosophy. The dictionary defines it simply as this fundamental drive that everything has to just keep being itself. And that's not just us, it's everything, from a rock resisting erosion to a plant reaching for the sun. And there it is again. Spinoza's own elegant words, just perfectly illustrating the concept. This really simple but powerful 1-2 punch of definition plus quote is the core of the whole book, and it does this for 100 of his most important terms. Okay, final one. What about our inner world? Spinoza had this revolutionary way of looking at emotions, which he called affects. He didn't see them as mysterious or something to feel guilty about, but just as natural results of how we interact with the world around us. Now, check this out. This is where his philosophy becomes this incredibly powerful tool for your own life. For Spinoza, a passion, a confusing, overwhelming emotion, it stops being a passion the moment we truly understand it. So understanding our emotions isn't just an academic exercise. For him, it's literally the path to freedom. So who can get something out of this unique guide to Spinoza's universe? Is this just for academics, or is it for, anyone who's just curious? Well, the beauty of this approach is that it's really built for everyone. If you're a beginner, this is the roadmap you need to navigate that dense labyrinth we talked about. If you're already pretty familiar with his work, it's a fantastic reference tool to sharpen your understanding. And of course, for students and scholars, it's an indispensable resource for study. And that really is the heart of it all. This book is more than a reference, it's an invitation. The whole point isn't just to help you know Spinoza's concepts, but to encourage you to actually think with them, to use his ideas as a lens to see the world, and maybe yourself in a totally new light. Honestly, this explainer has only just scratched the surface. We've looked at, 3 of the 100 concepts that are clarified and contextualized inside the Spinoza Dictionary? So, if you're ready to take that journey, if you want to navigate the labyrinth of Spinoza's revolutionary world for yourself, you can find a link to get your own copy of the book right there in the description below. We'll leave you with this final thought, which comes straight from the book's own introduction. It's really the perfect question to start any philosophical adventure. Thanks for watching.